A very good day to you. Welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jadil Kabiro. Happy to be here for these political conversations that are simple, truthful. Prof putting them across in a hard-hitting way. How are you today, sir?
Oh, wonderful.
You're doing well?
Very well.
Long time no see. How have you been?
Oh, good.
Life has been good.
Wonderful.
Holiday plans? No holiday plans?
Well, you know, the economy is not doing well, so people are grounded.
It's always like that every year, so you have to unground yourself.
Oh, okay.
Let's get into a conversation for today. It's so difficult, Prof. People are trying to avoid speaking about 2027 politics, but it is still here. Conversation now is from David Murathe and Jeremiah Kioni saying if elections will be held in 2027 and things remain constant, Mount Kenya will go for Raila. My thinking is too early to tell. Isn't that true?
It's too early.
Too early to tell.
Yes.
What would you say about the future of Mount Kenya politics as it stands now? When you look at Rigathi Gachagua being there as the deputy president and Jeremiah Kioni, David Murathe saying the high cost of living and the economy as it is what will be Ruto's undoing in that region.
It's not in that region. Things are going to be tough for President Ruto because things are also going to be tough for Kenyans. Unfortunately for William Ruto is that he has made Kenyans believe when things are bad, you should blame an individual. So they found it convenient to blame Raila and Uhuru. And they even said, what are you talking about Russia and Ukraine? What are you talking about COVID? No, it's a handshake. So when things go bad, as indeed they always go bad, and as they are likely to go very bad, then he has taught people that they must look for somebody to blame.
So you say
he will be the person to be blamed. So things will be tough for him. Not just Mount Kenya, the whole country.
For someone like Raila Odinga, because Jeremiah Kioni, Jubilee Sec Gen, says they will still remain with Raila Odinga. Raila hasn't fronted anyone. So there's this conversation of the office of the official opposition party leader. And you said this would be Ruto's trap in your video. Does this mean he should avoid that office by all means?
If Raila went for that office, he will lose many of his followers. And people will never forgive him. Me, I only echo what people are saying.
People are saying that. You always say you have the ear on the ground.
Yes, ear on the ground.
So if he goes for the office of the official position?
He's finished.
Okay. And what will this mean now for this politics that will happen in 2027 for someone like him if he doesn't go for it?
You can do everything you want to do, including critiquing government, helping government, directing things, organizing politics. You can do all those things without that office of opposition. Because the moment you take it, unfortunately, people will see the trappings. They won't see anything else.
But is it really a trap if for
the
Ruto,
trappings, the good things? And I've seen a video from a man called Okanga or Noah something. He's a very crude political commentator. He says, Raila, don't go for that thing. And I think he's right. The idea is, what is this Raila can get from that office that he cannot afford?
Is it really monetary or is it the position?
Whatever it is.
There are some perks that we'll have there.
What are these perks that Raila cannot afford?
Appointment of people in...
Which one?
An independent
You don't appoint people?
Sending names, actually.
No, that's not what you want. You want to ensure that Ruto is doing what he promised to do for the people of Kenya.
How about if...
And in the event he doesn't do, you want to take over power. That is a new thinking I want people like Raila to embrace. That is about constructive criticism. Is about helping government to deliver on the promises they made the people of Kenya. Is about giving direction where direction must be given. Is about pushing government into doing the right thing. To a point where if the government is clearly unable to deliver to the people of Kenya, is about taking over power from the government. And I'm trying to make Kenyans see this thing. It's not about 5 years. It shouldn't be about 2027.
You've said that so many times, but
we must get to a point where the president can go home after 6 months, after 1 year, after 2 years, so that they may learn to work, so that they may stop focusing on 2027 and messing the politics of the country and sacrificing everything, development included, on the altar of the next election.
You know, the reason why I said you've stopped being hard-hitting, because I'm trying to look at the difference between taking government tomorrow, 6 months, and this conversation we had several times on let's give Ruto time. Where's the line for Raila?
When I'm saying giving Ruto time, I mean not standing in his way.
Oh.
I mean pointing out things and saying this is going in the wrong direction. It should go this way. Okay? And not trying to give him excuses for not delivering. Up to a point where everybody sees this guy is going nowhere. There's nowhere he's going. And therefore we talk about government from him through constitutional means. That is where Kenya should be going. Where you try to criticize government constructively, offer constructive criticism, direct government, push government, help government. But when it is clear this government cannot, even with all that goodwill, even with all the support, with all the criticism, positive, it cannot deliver, they should give way to another government. That's a culture I want our political culture to be one where those in office must deliver from day one.
Oh.
If they fail, we should not wait for 5 years.
So you
We
say
must have that political culture that will become our tradition. You don't wait for 5 years. You do your job or you go home even after a year.
am I right to say you are saying that Raila should oppose sensibly in some way?
Yes, constructively. But do so in such a way, it is clear that you have no ill intentions. It is clear you are actually trying to assist Ruto. Until it gets to a point where everybody can see that Ruto cannot deliver. And then you tell him,
For the Ruto, you know.
take a walk.
For the Ruto, you know.
Yes.
When we were speaking about Uhuru, it was incumbency comes with its own encumbrances.
Yes, and the
this
power.
And this is what Jeremiah Kioni and David Murathe are saying. This might come and haunt Ruto later.
Yes.
But for the Ruto, you know.
Yes.
Is there anyone who will make sure these encumbrances take him out in 2027 if he doesn't perform?
I'm not looking at 2027. I refuse to look at 2027. I want Kenyans to look at tomorrow.
Even before 2027,
Yes.
if you watch this why Raila lost, the likes of Babu Owino are more likely blaming their side. And that's why I'm thinking, even before 2027, is there anyone in that team that can make sure if Ruto doesn't perform, we don't get to 2027 with a bad government?
Why not? Raila is there. He's still the leader of the opposition. He's there.
Does he have what it takes? I think that's my big question.
What is it he should have that you are looking for?
Because they didn't win elections, despite the fact that we were speaking about Uhuru and Raila being a powerful combo, Uhuru being in government.
Raila not winning, if you want to call it winning and losing, is a very common thing. It happens in politics. But there are so many question marks about Ruto's victory, and you know it. So many question marks.
Yeah.
And all elections have question marks anyway. That doesn't mean the next election cannot be won by the other side. Yeah.
So they just have to learn now. What
It is knowing that today may be bad for you and tomorrow you may be in the sun. There will be sunshine for you tomorrow.
Is it that easy in knowing, or should you come up with a plan as it should be?
You see,
and what plan would you advise
what
Raila
I've been trying to say
then?
is, first of all, is to look at the terrain. Is look at the politics where the country is today and appreciate how difficult it is to remove Ruto. I know that's where you are going.
Yeah. That's where I'm going, actually.
It is difficult to remove Ruto because first the perception is he's unassailable. If he was able to get it, then he's a tough guy. That perception is that you can't ignore it.
Holding you out there, is it really a perception or is it a reality?
It's a perception and a reality, if you wish, depending on how you look at it. Those who think he won square and clean will see that as a perception from the other side. But those who believe this election was rigged,
with evidence, obviously.
yeah, with serious evidence, would not. There is enough evidence that this election wasn't quite right. That we can say in broad daylight, and everybody knows it, including submissions in the Supreme Court. So that will not be perception; it will be reality. Okay. So there's a perception that Ruto is somebody you can't just defeat. Secondly, there's a lot of disorganization within the opposition. Thirdly, Ruto, as a master politician, is all out to destroy the opposition. But more importantly, the reason why it may be difficult to manage Ruto is that the politics of this country has been taken to another level. It has been corrupted so badly. The politics of Kenya has been corrupted so absolutely and so badly. If you play it within the understanding of how politics must be played, you can never have your way. You can never get it.
What is the difference between our politics and other countries?
Part of it, I will explain. Part of it is the politics has been so monetized. It has become so much about money and resources that to participate in this election, in trying to unseat Ruto, in trying to have an effective opposition, the amount of resources you need, I don't see the opposition having those resources. So those are the challenges. So that it's very unfortunate that if you must change this country, first you must get power. To be able to change the country, you need power. To get the power, the kind of resources and the kind of games you need to play may be a little challenging to the opposition today. The kind of resources you need and the kind of politics you need to play. Hardball. People have said that Raila has been approached by people. Let's do this, and they told him no. And I know why. He will look back and say, I've suffered so much. I've fought so hard. What was I fighting for? If at the tail end of my life, having achieved so much for the country, I can join those people in buying people for elections, in messing the elections, in corrupting the judges. What is it I was fighting for? So I don't blame him if that's true.
Then what do you...
So that's what I'm saying, it's so difficult.
What are you telling Kenyans right now? It's as if
there's no hope
in changing the country.
It is difficult, and therein lies the danger. That's where the danger to the country lies. And I hope Kenyans listen to me when I talk. Because you cannot play this politics the way it should be played. You have to play rough.
You have to be a crook in some...
You have to be a crook, just to say like that. And you have to have bags and bags of money. And you cannot compete in that arena effectively. The leaders will be swept away. The people will take over.
What are we...
Because the things are going to get so bad in this country, only a revolution will be the answer. It may never achieve anything. Revolutions, as we know them, these cheap, what people call revolutions. You know the things you see in Egypt, where Arab Springs, Sudan here. You know, you've seen those kind of things.
Yes.
Those are the things people are calling revolutions. Not revolution in the sense of the Russian Revolution, the Cuban Revolution. Not that sense. This cheap sense that is now modern, that is current. It just stabilizes society and the country. But at the end of the day, it achieves nothing. But that's where we are headed.
For Ruto, you've said severally, just do your work, things will fall into place.
Correct.
What about for Raila and Azimio coalition? Talks are Uhuru is set to resign as the chairperson to focus on the peace initiatives. What should Raila do if he really cares about this country so we don't get to that place where a revolution erupts?
Frankly speaking, Raila has very limited legroom. And Ruto is making it worse. So if I were to advise Ruto, I'll tell him, look here, do not rejoice in buying Raila's people. Buying not with money, taking them. You know, in Kenyan politics, you say buying. When you leave one side, they say you have been bought. So let nobody get me wrong. I'm not saying Ruto is paying money to them. I'm just saying he's bringing them to his side, including using unorthodox means, okay? Don't rejoice in that. Because then you leave Raila with very little space. Or options. But to take his case to the people. You see now how limited Raila is becoming. First, his people are being taken away through all manner of games. His leaders. So he's remaining naked. Secondly, the politics of the country has been corrupted so badly. A person like Raila cannot participate in the politics and come out
as Raila,
as anybody. In fact, if he tries next time, even to get 2 million votes will be a problem.
Things like that.
So that now leaves Raila with no option but to put his case to the people. And I've said this repeatedly. And the reason why I'm repeating this, I know the danger that portends for the country. But that's where we are headed.
Finally, I'd like to wrap up. I'm being told to do so. But finally, if you say Ruto should not make it as if he's buying them, the perception that is bringing them to his side, what should he do so that he accommodates the whole country?
Stop focusing on 2027. deliver to the people of Kenya today. Deal with today, focus with the people of Kenya, play your politics right, don't behave as if you are still in competition with Raila. Just know you are the president and govern.
Okay.
And let 2027 come. Don't put everything into 2027. Because those listening to me tell Ruto, 2027 may be a mirage. You may not get there. You can go midstream. This is the point I've been trying to make. For anybody who will become president of this country, stop thinking about 5 years cycles.
For you, 2027 might be a mirage for
Yes.
William Ruto. Until we do talk again, have yourself a lovely rest of your day. Happy holidays. Christmas is here.